Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Just enjoying a lovely coffee with my new mug, which I treated myself as a little birthday present. So enjoying my coffee. Hope everyone's well and had a good weekend. We had a good weekend. Obviously, we've been working on the availability form. So everyone has now, yesterday was the last date, so we've now got everyone their dates back of what they want to do, the events. So now we just need to look at that. Just bear with us, everyone. We need to look at it, make sure we've got the right mix of people for each event. So we'll be looking through that and getting back to you. So probably take us a good sort of couple of weeks or something, and then obviously sorting out the booking forms, and then we'll go from there. So this morning, and also there we go, just going to photo finish with David. So let me just, there we go, and with David from Photofinish. So just waiting for him to pop on, connecting, and I think there we go.
Morning.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Morning, Jason. How
How are
you doing?
you?
I'm good, yeah. Bit
Good,
warmer
good.
than last week.
Yeah. Glad you're there. We had a bit of a technical hitch the other day with Daphne from Oddie and Hope. So I was a bit like, there we go. So you're already there, which is great. So good morning to you, David. So if you could introduce yourself, including your business name, sorry, and what you make and sell.
Morning. Well, I'm David Hitchcock. I'm the sort of designer and founder of Photofinish Jewellery. And Photofinish Jewellery basically is an unusual sort of jewellery. It starts with a photograph. So I love taking photographs. That's always been my passion. And I found a way of translating the images onto metal. And I use recycled aluminium. And then I cut them out and make them into pieces of jewellery. And hence the name Photofinish. And the finish is a very smooth, tactile finish. Very nice to wear, very light and hypoallergenic. Cool. And so I like to be different.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think way back, I think we met at the Farnham Maltings, I do believe. Was that the first time we ever met? And
I think Denby's. Denby's was the first time.
Denby's. I know that we came along to Farnham.
Yeah.
And what I mean, we both loved as well. Me and Rob it was so different, and it's really nice to, with jewelers, to have something different that stands out from the others. And yeah, I really do love your your jewellery, your photo finish jewellery.
I mean, that's a good example of what we do.
Yeah.
With the cameras. There you go.
Yep.
So it's if anyone hasn't seen it.
So whereabouts are you based, and when did you set up your business?
Okay, started off about a couple of years ago. I'm based in Surbiton in Surrey, or just Surrey, or used to be in Surrey. But all my connections have always been in Surrey. So I lived in Surrey. My wife works in Guildford, or has now moved to Farnham as a job. But all my connections are always around Surrey Hills. All our days out of families has always been in Surrey. So hence why we sort of, have been influenced by all the beautiful trees and everything like that in the Surrey Hills. So basically southwest London into Surrey.
And so what is your favourite item to create and why? If you have a favourite.
I think you'll find most creatives, it's always the last thing they've worked on or about to work on. I mean, I do love working with leaves. That's where it sort of started, and probably what I'm most known for. Because when you get a leaf and you can, beautiful colours from autumn. And then what I'll tend to do is I'll take a skeleton of an old leaf like this, and then crush that over the top so you get all the veiling effect. So I love making those. But my latest one, which is because they're very, well, you'll see them around at the moment, are these lamb's tail earrings.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll see all these lamb's tails on all the hazel trees at the moment. It's a nice little hopeful sign of spring coming. And they just have a lovely movement. So I just love making those.
Excellent. And I mean, you've already kind of said, but it's sort of saying what inspires you. I mean, nature is your big thing, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean, I worked in nature conservation, making sort of equipment for scientists to do nature sort of conservation for about 25 years, problem solving, how they could sort of do surveys and things like that. And so I've always had a passion for that. And then also just photography has always been, if I go on holiday, we're always fine with the camera, taking far too many photographs, and that's really where the passion came from. And And with the planet being the way it is at the moment, everything that we can do to celebrate the beauty of that, to try and help people engage with that and wanting to sort of preserve it.
Yeah. And what's lovely though, isn't it? I suppose is what's the joy of it, of the seasons that you see, and you see these beautiful things that then you can then capture in a photo, and then the next minute or the leaf or whatever, it becomes then something that you can wear and keep, isn't it? And
I mean, I know I've got a crick in my neck in autumn just looking at the ground, just constantly looking for new things. It's and then it sort of branched out from leaves into flowers and butterflies, and for the jewellery side of things. So but that autumn particularly, I missed it last year because of lockdown. We couldn't get out to all the places we'd like to get to.
Exactly.
I quite missed that. So,
and it is. I mean, at the moment with lockdown, it's kind of quite nice. I mean, myself personally as well, of seeing things growing, and as I'm sat here, there's some bluebells, the daffodils are out, so it gives you a nice inspiration. So
absolutely. I mean, it's my exercise sort of has definitely gone down during lockdown, because you would just find me every day going out for at least an hour, walking sort of 4 or 5 miles, just looking for new things. And it's amazing where you find it. Sometimes I found just a leaf just fluttering in the gutter in the centre of a town. It just is a perfect one. Not always, but it's surprising how often you just find it everywhere.
I think at the moment now we go for walks, it's discarded face masks all over on the floor, isn't it? It seems
so angry. I think I'm going to buy a litter picker and just go around picking up.
I was on a walk the other day just up on the railway, and the amount of litter was absolutely disgusting. I think sometimes human beings, it's just vile. There was just litter, and obviously there's a park and they just throw it all over, and there was just tons of it. And it's not very nice, is it?
So I guess one of the nice things I did was we went to the Isles of Scilly, and they did a boat trip, free trip to go out to one of these really small little remote islands which you never get onto, and we filled the boat of litter. It just all these plastic bottles were blowing on the wind across the Atlantic, and it's just amazed we filled this boat up in less than about an hour.
Exactly,
unbelievable.
So, where and what is your workspace?
So normally, as we've been discussing, it's outside. It's like that would be my workspace to start with, to get photographs, spending hours to take photographs. And at the moment, it's in a small flat in the middle of Surbiton, a Victorian flat, and usually on this table in the middle of the lounge. So I really want to try and expand out from that. And we've been trying to move. So in fact, we were due to move fairly soon, but that's just fallen through at the moment. So we're on trying to rebuild that. In a small flat on the kitchen table, real kitchen table business.
Excellent. And have you been working on anything new this year at all?
So because I couldn't get out as much, I've been working on how to sort of, I like to sell to local stockists, but obviously, to make a living, you need to expand that out a little bit. So I've been trying to sort of look at doing other sort of trade shows, but of course they've been postponed. So one of the things I've been trying to do is work on a new website, which is very boring, but it's about building those foundations of the business, isn't it?
Yes.
And so busy doing that, and hopefully very soon that will mean that I will be able to offer a donation to an environmental charity with each purchase. That's one of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time, but on my existing website I can't do that. But whereas the new platform, it has a lot more apps that I can put that in. So watch this space on that one. So that's on that side. Creativity wise, I'm just always on the lookout and then thinking, well, what I can blend into a new collection.
Sure.
So we're still looking for that really. But I've been really building on the foundations because, with most of my stock is closed, it's been a very quiet time. So I've just tried to sort of build on the bits I can do, really. Can't wait to change all that.
It's I suppose at the moment as well, isn't it? And it's sort of like you want something new, because also when you are, when the markets are happening, it's always quite nice to show people, because you don't want them to come in and go, oh, you've still got this. It's almost, you've still got this because you haven't been able to sell and it's still for sale. But then having something that then is new, and as Dapper and Suave, we're constantly looking at, well, this didn't sell, and but it's still there, but working on new things.
But it's sometimes strange. You never know how that's going to work, because we've had a bus which I had on, and I thought it's beautiful, and it didn't sell for quite a while. And after about sort of 3 or 4 months, we went to a show, and I sold 4 at that one show, just like that. and so you don't never know. But the nice thing about doing the shows with Curated is that quite often I'll have lots of one-off pieces that haven't quite worked or I can't repeat very easily. So that's what's really nice when people come along to the shows. And yeah, always new things. And I've got another collection coming along, which I need to launch, but that'll be in a while. I think will be towards the end of the year for that one.
I mean, it's really nice actually, because the other day we usually myself and Rob have a chat with Rob's parents. What we've done now, we used to just sort of boom, turn up for a chat, and now we kind of, you know, we sort of make it a bit of a time and whatever. And Rob's mum was sat there, and she had your love. You know, we bought her one of your pieces, and she was wearing it. So, and she's been watching me. So she's now got a mention, and she actually said as well how much she's been really the people. She knows so much. So with, like, you know, with the people that we've been talking to. So I said, "Oh, David,
that was from Pit Fest.
Who's made her jewellery?" So
that was a while ago. That was at Pit Fest, wasn't it? Quite a long time.
Yes, it was. Yeah. She loves it, and so hello, Patricia. So she'll be watching this later.
Thank you very much. Glad you like it.
As you know, Curated by Dapper Suave have a ethos, and that's about customer service, and it's about being friendly, creative and unique. And obviously why you've been chosen, because you're very unique of what you do. So what is your ethos?
Being kind to people, kind to the planet. You know, I will often do things like I recently did a charity auction where I donated to the prostate project at Guildford. I like to, when things like sort of the Black Friday, very sort of consumer driven sort of event. Yes, it's quite important for sales, but it's like, it's not something I really want to get really signed up to. So I tried to do it differently. So I said, look, you know, I'll give you 10% off, but 10% also I'll give to hospice. That was after mum. You know, and do things like that, you know. So I always like to try and do that. Obviously on the customer service side, many years ago, I used to work for Boots the Chemist. And, you know, you just learn, customer service is king, you know. Being friendly, being efficient, what you do, good communication, you know. And look, when you do sort of Created by Dapper and Suave shows, is to be friendly, you know, engage with everybody, and that's what I just love doing. I just love, you know, chatting to people. Nervous today, but I'll tell about
doing well.
But I just like talking to people about, you know, things they're passionate about. It's just. I just find that great. So as with this year, what are your goals and dreams for this year? Have an event. It'll be just really nice to be out and about and meeting people again. I mean, normally I do about 15 shows, and last year we did about 5.
Wow.
2 of which were with you. So it was just fantastic. So that's obviously the most thing, you know, and just to be able to get back some sort of interesting sort of times where we can all do that. Yes, I talk about doing the website. I really want to try and find a way that I can, for each sale, we'll do some sort of donation to an environmental organisation, because I think it's what I've always been involved in, and obviously with the type of products I've got, it's sort of all about nature. So why not? You know. So that would be one of my big goals I want to do. And get out and about in the hills again, be able to just be allowed to walk and go wherever I want to go again.
Exactly. I mean, as well, the charity thing that you said about, that's one thing that right from the beginning of doing these events, that we've always done some kind of charity. And if you go onto the website, there is a whole list of, you know, charities that we supported, you know, from dementia to the cherry trees, as in last year, to the hygiene bank, RSPCA, and it's really nice to give something back. And that's something later on I'll be looking for each event as well, to raise, you know, to give some money somehow, which is really important.
We've done that as well. It's nice to then to chip into those events, bought a little box alongs from those charities. You know, it all just means that the network of people gets stronger. That's what we always love coming to the events for, because it just feels like a real network and a family of people.
Exactly. So sort of almost sort of saying there, so who would you say is your support network?
Well, Marie, my wife, is absolutely topped because
Yeah,
apart from anything else, at the moment she's paying the bills, but she's always there supporting me on stalls. Couldn't on the last two because she's been working from home
yeah.
and
We
things like
missed
that.
her.
Yeah, no, it's always I can't thank her enough for that.
Yeah.
But I probably have two or three other sort of groups. One which was where I started and inspired me to do jewellery, which is a lady called Aileen, who runs the Creative Jewellery Workshop in Red Hill.
Okay.
And every Wednesday, up until pandemic, I would meet her, Orla Morgan from Orla Morgan Jewellery from Molesey, and a chap who's very talented, Peter Roberts, who's a botanical silversmith, and he makes flowers out of silver.
Yep.
And they are just my support network. So they're my research and development department. I pass their ideas past, and I just, And so during pandemic, we've been doing Zoom meetings like everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just really nice to be able to have that. Oh, this isn't going right. Right, what should I do? Just having that is just.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I did last year was I helped do some testing with a new selling platform, British Craft House, and that's become a real big support network for me because it's about 400 or 500 makers, all British, all handmade, and I think there's a few watching today.
Yeah.
And there's just there again, if you're having technical trouble, things like that, all of that. Yeah. But then the last sort of support network is you guys and all your family of makers that you have at your shows, because there again, there are good times, tough times, and they're all just really great. And you get to a show. I mean, I think 60% of my Christmas presents all came from makers from shows, because that then goes back into the community. Look what you've done for Dorking with all the sort of shows that you've done. Bringing all these companies together, it really works.
Yeah. So
there's 3 or 4, and I can't thank all of you enough, really.
Yeah, and at the moment, as I was saying earlier, the availability forms, and I've had a couple of people, and they're worried about if the events are going to go ahead, and I'm having to say to them, look, we need something to look forward to later on. We were very lucky to have the events that took place, and we're all waiting desperately. I think it's the 22nd of February. What's next? There's so much in the media, but I'm working to make sure that we all have something to look forward to in October. The ones at Dorking Halls, Gate Street Barn. We still need to. Yeah, it's beautiful. But imagine the wedding, and with them we'll get in contact obviously with the availability of just the Open Farm Sunday, which will be great there. But we need to make sure that it's a really different event, and we'll be contacting and getting back with all of that information. So, which will be
it's remarkable because last year, obviously, we went through the summer and we're looking forward to and then it was like, there's going to be some more possible lockdowns, and you managed to tiptoe around just before and just after was amazing.
It was very,
so good to look forward to. It made, they weren't as busy, but they were just so important to have. I can't tell you, they're brilliant.
I mean, when we've had the one in Christmas in Dorking Halls, we, remember when we opened the door and the amount of people, it was like, oh my God. So, and with that as well, there were a couple of glitches with how many people were in the room, which we just need to work out, because when I did it at Gate Street Barn, obviously out of the people that came, 300, we had 289, but there were a lot of people who were turned away at Dorking Hall. So we just need to fine tune that to make sure that everyone can come and the numbers through the door, and obviously it will be safe, and I do believe it will be like it was last year, and
they felt brilliant. I mean, there was a nice steady flow, so it had a different, but it still was just so good to have on the horizon coming. It was
and as I said as well, I said to somebody, don't worry, you're in safe hands, and that's kind of us sorting it, and also everyone else of just being respectful for what was going on, and the whole having to come into the room was so different. We had to do it in stages, which it worked so much better, instead of having before I'd have all of you all arrive at the same time and my head is going, what is going on? I was like a headless chicken running around. So now I'd go, right, these lot are in, and but we were all very respectful, and the setup was quite funny because when it came to the end, boom, you were all like, God, you know, like it's funny how you could set up very, you know, you take your time, but at the end of it, that's it, everyone was gone. So
you could tell there's lots of planning had gone in, and it really worked. You know, you really care, and that's, you know, I know others have said this in some of these chats. You really care about who you invite along and make it work. And again, for the COVID situation, you've done that to make sure that it will work. You know, and flexibility. You know, if it needs tweaking, it needs tweaking.
Yeah, exactly. And that's you know, that's a really good idea. And probably what I might be doing as well is almost when we have before the events is trying to maybe do a Zoom with all of us so we can all chat, because I felt sometimes that I would constantly like, these are the rules and regulations, can everyone, you know, and then next minute, have you not read them? So it's just that bit of communication. And if we can all maybe have a little, you know, sharing ideas like this before the event, so we know who's going to be there, I think it might. And it's also, I think it's really important for us all to sort of come together somehow to share ideas, and also just to chat and, you know, and do this, which is great. So and the last question, probably you've almost kind of answered it talking through, it's that why do you like working with Curated by Dapper and Suave, which I think you've almost answered, but it's
we have a giggle, we have a you know, they're successful, they're always friendly. You turn up, there's usually meet you in the car park as we're unloading, and just have a good old giggle about what's happened or what's going on. It's always the most friendly shows I think we do. You know, by a country mile. You know, I've been to shows in the past and talked to people where, you know, they won't even see the organizer right the way through the event, and it's like, you know, we are there to mutually help each other, and we really feel that, you know. And we, you know, I say we met about 2 years ago, and I think the second event was at a farm. And you know, it was quite an unusual space to do, and it's like, well, trust us, it'll be fine. We had such a laugh and such a nice time. It's successful. I think there was the ladies from Dorking, from cancer charity in Dorking. We're all doing cups of tea with a china mug, and everyone's walking around the farm with china mugs of tea in the most unusual environment. But it was just such a lovely, friendly event, and it's each time it's different, but it's the same. It has this core value of helping each other, and just, you know, fantastic network of people, and we just love it. We all love it.
Cool. And you know, like, you know, if there are, it's that not knowing, but you know, I'm kind of looking to sort of try if there are any other areas and the outdoor events, because we might get to a bit more of those, which I think is really good, because then we can involve the whole food, drink, and everything else as well. And personally myself, you know, I've missed. You know, there's some great events out there. There's the Priory Farm event, which I absolutely adore. It's, you know, food and drink and demonstrations. That hasn't taken place, and it's things like that, you know, when you start to fill the diary of, you know, probably you're doing it again this year, that's not happening, this isn't happening. But I can assure you that events will be happening. I'm going to be talking to Dorking Halls this week, just to sort of, you know, just make sure everything can, you know, that, you know, the events will go ahead as they did last year. So
and also, if there's any other makers out there that, you know, are local to you guys in the Dorking Surrey Hills area, you know, contact you, you know.
Exactly.
If you think you might be any good, bring in, because we'll have a good time at the show. You know, always good.
Yeah, and as we say at the moment, you know, we've got all the forms back, and it looks wow, you know, like it's crazy. But probably who wants to do Christmas, only half of that, you know, even a third, you know, are going to be able to do it. But it, you know, it's looking at it fairly of new people as well, making sure we've got the right mix. We can't have all of the same. That's something that I'm really, you know, really kind of, you know, it has to be new. And also, you know, still holding back of finding those different things. What's on trend? What do people like? And there have been a lot of people who all of a sudden in lockdown think that they can make something, and you know that you see there's an Etsy group, and the minute they're going, oh, I've had no sales, and it's kind of the same with everyone else.
It takes time to get to the point where you are ready to go out to show. So it's difficult, but it's one of the things, as a visitor of the show, if you keep going to the same show and it's always got the same things, it's like, well, what's the point of going? But from a maker point of view, of course, you want to attend every event you do. But it's quite good. It's mixed up. It is different, but also your regular customers will know, oh, well, if I keep coming, they'll be back and I can come and do that. So it works both ways, really.
And that's, you know, so not saying too much at the moment, but the October event that we're planning, I'm looking at something a little bit different from the others. I you know, that it will be sort of what I'm planning on doing, but the kind of November, December, and more sort of Christmas. The October's going to have a little bit of a twist to it. Something that I'm working on at the moment, which I will be announcing very soon. Some exciting news.
Sounds good fun.
Yeah, some exciting news. So that's just something. Oh, just grabbed my head as I did that. Sorry. So that's it for you. I mean, we'll be back again here on Wednesday. And that will be with Alice from Copper Top Candles. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. She's amazing. She contacted us just in lockdown, and I absolutely I love her candles. They are really great. And she ended up doing all of the events last year. There was a cancellation that popped up. It was a candle person that had cancelled. There we go. And I you know, I said to Alice, would you like to join? And she was like, yeah, straight out of a hat. She absolutely loved it. So that was nice having her sort of new as well. And she really got the whole vibe of the of what we're about, which is great. So we'll be seeing her at 10. So thank you very much, David. You did really well. I could tell you're a little bit nervous, but it's great, isn't it? It's really, it's you know, it's really good just to see, and it's nice because you've had the people that you were talking about have all popped up. They're chatting away here, which is really lovely. So and it's lovely because different people coming, and you know, that's what it's about, isn't it? When you come to some of the events, some people might just come along, I want to get some jewelry, that's it. I want to find David, and that's what they're coming for. And that's what I try to plan the event, so that, you know, before people were, you know, like the whole timing thing. But if you're just coming specifically for jewelry, here's your jewelry, here's the different selection, and off they go. And there's other people who want to stop and chat to every single person, which is great. But, yeah, exactly. Cool. So I really enjoyed today. It was really good and really nice to see you, David. And well, the availability forms, just give us a bit of time to work on those, and then, you know, getting the booking forms together, and then we'll probably be doing the Dorking Halls ones first, and then the Gate Street Barns separate. So just don't hound me at the moment. It's almost like doing, you know, the wedding tables. It's like, you know, who's going with who. It's a bit like that. Like,
one difference is we all talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thank you very much. Enjoy your week. It's half term. I hope everyone had a lovely Valentine's Day and yesterday. So yeah, and great, lovely to speak to you, and see you soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.